everyone, how are you? I hope that you are fine. Today you are going to learn about news item. That is one of the type of the text that you will learn in high school. There are actually 13 types of text that are taught in high school. Well, news item. Have you ever visited BBC, The Guardian, CNN, or the China Post? If you have, you will find out there are some information, news that you can find in those websites. Well, news items is kind of text or type of text that discusses about news, and the news itself has to be important, has to be newsworthy. It means that the information put in that passage or in the text should be important for all people, many people around the region, the target. For example, now the news about coronavirus outbreak. That's important for all people around the world. And then information about natural disaster and information about the result of football match. That's important. That is called as newsworthy. So if it is constitute important or essential for almost all people, that is constituted as newsworthy. But if you want to tell your daily activity, you want to tell about your friend experience, I believe it is not constituted as newsworthy because it is not considered essential for many people. There is no importance why we need to read that news. Then, as you know that every type of text, there are 3 elements that you need to understand. The first is social function. The next is generic structure, and the last is language features. As you all know that social function can be synonymous with purpose or goal. The reason why the text is written, because it is a news, so the social function of news item is to inform newsworthy event to the readers. To inform newsworthy event to the readers. That's the social function or the goal or the purpose. Why a writer or an author write that kind of passage. And then second one is generic structure. There are 3 things in the generic structure. The first is headline. Second one is background, and the third one is source. Let's start with headline. Headline means like if you want to write kind of event news, you have to give a brief summary about this event. It has to be a paragraph that embody almost all of the event. So you write down the most important things happening in that event in headlines. If you find out a newspaper, for example, there will be the first paragraph. There will be a first paragraph, small one. Actually, usually under the picture, and that's the headline. That's the core information of the event. That is the headline. Usually, it talks about what happened. What happened about what actually happened? What event actually happened? That's the headline. After that, background. To learn easily about the background, we can go back to the WH questions like what, when, where, why, how, and who. So in Bahasa we call it 5W and 1H. Yeah, WH questions. So you need to elaborate, you need to explain, you need to write down, you need to describe who are the persons who are involved in that event, and then when did the event happen, and then where the location of the event, and then how did it happen, and then why did it happen. So you need to elaborate that in the background. And sometimes we can add more than one what. For example, what happened, and then after that what happened, what's the impact. So there's not only one what or one when or why, how. It can be props, it can be more than one as long as it is still necessary to be informed. But the information, the question will be stopped when it is saturated. It will give no more important information anymore. That's the background. And the last is about source. So if you have read some news, there will be kind of informant or source of information. It's like kind of quotation. According to blah blah blah, according to the chief of blah blah blah, this is blah blah blah. So in the source you quote someone else's information or argument or statements regarding to the event. So if you want to like quote for example, coronavirus, you want to quote the statement of a doctor, you put it in his sources. Okay, so according to the doctor blah blah blah, coronavirus blah blah blah. Okay, that's the third element in generic structure. Once again, the first is headline, and then background, and the third one is the source. Then we move to language feature. Because every event that is informed in news item has happened before, so we use simple past tense because it doesn't make any sense if you want to inform something that has not yet happened. So because the event has happened before in the past, you use simple past tense and that. And there is a new grammar that you will learn in this chapter. We call it as reported speech, or we sometimes people call it as direct indirect sentence, direct indirect statements. So we learn how to write down quotation because you use source, and there is source there in the last element of generic structure. In the last page is source. You quote someone else's opinions or statements. You need to learn how to write down direct or indirect statements. We will learn that in another video nowadays. Okay, so once again, the purpose, the social function of the news item is to inform newsworthy event. And the generic structure, it starts with headline and then followed by background, and the last is the source. And in general, you need to use simple past tense to write down this kind of passage, because what happened in the past, it happened in the past. So you need to use simple past tense there. That's a language feature. And one more grammar that you are going to learn is reported speech. I have written a module about that. You can read it by yourself, and then in the next video I will explain it further about that. Well, I think that's all for today's teaching and learning activity. Please, if you have any question, leave a comment. Okay, if you have any question, just leave a comment or contact me directly by WhatsApp. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. See ya.